Shields up, Paladins, and welcome to a For Honor Hero Guide. As you can tell by the title of this video, I'll be talking to you all about the Warlord and how I like to use this particular character. The Warlord is one of the heavy characters within the Viking faction. He has a medium difficulty rating, as well as he is a harasser and a counter attacker. His base stats are his health is set to 140, his stamina is set to 120, and his sprint speed is set to 2.4 milliseconds. Now with all this being said and done, let's go ahead and jump right on over to his feats. With his tier 1 feats being Speed Revive, which is a passive ability, Rapidly Revive fallen teammates, Brush, which is triggered to gain movement speed for a short duration, and Deadly, which is a passive ability. Attacks deal slightly more damage every 3 seconds. His tier 2 feats are Bear Trap, which is set a trap that damages and stops victims in their tracks. Juggernaut, you are slowed and gain high damage reduction, slippery, and uninterruptible. And then Flesh Wound, which is a passive ability, gain moderate damage reduction every 3 seconds. His tier 3 feats are Fury, which is raise sprint speed slightly, attack and defense greatly. Tough as Nails, which is a passive ability, raises max health when unlocked. And then Punch Through, which is another passive ability, your block damage is increased. And finally, for his tier 4, we have Regenerate, which is a passive ability, regenerate your health when out of combat. Auto Revive, which is automatically revive upon death unless executed. And then Fire Flask, which is throw a projectile creating a fire effect over an area. Now with all that being said, the Warlord is one of the characters that I would say as a heavy is very versatile with just the feats alone, as you can set him up to deal pretty much a lot of damage or be able to tank a lot of hits, or even both for that matter. The Warlord, as I said, is one of those type of characters that you can do that with. Now, within this, I'll tell you, pretty much I have 2 classes set up for the Warlord, and since I mainly play Breach and For Honor, some Dominion here and there, but mainly Breach, I have an Attacker and a Defender class that I have. So, for both of them, for his tier 1, I have Deadly, which is a passive ability, attacks deal slightly more damage every 3 seconds. That's just overall, you know, he already hits like a truck anyways, so whenever you're doing either like a light heavy or heavy or anything like that, usually the second attack is always going to be, that timer is always going to be probably up, most likely, and that attack's going to hit. Or if it doesn't, it's, as I said, he still hits like a truck regardless, so that's just adding a little bit more damage to him to kind of help you out in the long run there. Now his tier 2 this is where things start getting a little bit different. For the attacker, I have Juggernaut. So you are slowed and gain high damage reduction, slippery, and uninterruptible. Pretty much the only time I really use that is if I know if I'm getting ready to get ganked in like in a 3v1, 4v1, even a 2v1 situation, maybe up on an objective or something to that effect, or specifically whenever I'm going up against the commander right at the end, because usually everyone's going to be sitting right there, or someone's going to be sitting there while the commander's trying to hit you, you know, so while they're trying to guard break you or something like that, you've got Juggernaut popped, so you know they can't grab you. The only thing that they can do is throw out attacks, and if you're parrying correctly, you know, you'll get revenge and deal a lot more damage. On top of that with Deadly, so keep that in mind. Now also for the Defender, I would have Flesh Wound for his tier 2 for the Defender side of things, which is passive, gain moderate damage reduction every 3 seconds. So that right there, again, every 3 seconds on top of Deadly, I'm pretty much setting him up for a tank. I want to be able to take as much damage as I possibly can, but also be able to stay out on the battlefield until my team gets back out there. So for tier 3, for the attacker, I use Fury. So this raises my sprint speed slightly and attack and defense greatly. So on top of Juggernaut, which is making me slow, or be able to, I'm walking slow, but I've got high damage reduction. On top of that, I'm increasing my attack and my defense even more, and also my sprint speed a little bit more, so where I'm not as slow with Juggernaut. So with that being said, I'm able to sit there and I'm now pumping out even more damage on top of that with Deadly. So keep all this in mind while we're going through this. Now for the defender side of things, I would use Toughest Nails, which is a passive ability, raises max health when unlocked. Now this is a lot of times if you're up on the Cauldron, or if you're up on, like I said, an objective, you want to be able to have the most health out there whenever you're trying to stay up there and stay in the fight. Again, that also helps whenever your teammate gets there and everything like that. So which is great for that aspect. And then finally, for his tier 4, the attacker side of things, I use Fire Flask. Of course, Fire Flask is a great ability or feat for the Vikings. Now you gotta worry about Sundaws and stuff like that, but really Fire Flask is really one of those good abilities for the attackers. For the defending side of things, sometimes I might keep Fire Flask, other times I might change it to Regenerate. Specifically, like I said, if I'm up there on a point, if I'm just sitting there up on a point or maybe down on the ram, I want to be able to stay there as long as possible. So if we kill people, or if I'm killing just minions, if I need to pull back for a second, I can go ahead and start walking around the ram while our minions are there, so I've got the ram stopped, and also at the same time I'm healing, waiting for the other team or the enemy team to get back up there to me, or waiting for their minions to spawn so I can go back and start killing them once again. But that would be the feats that I use for my attacker and my defender side of things. And then on top of that, for the perks, again, since he's heavy, Bastion, Invincible Barrier, and Last Stand. That's just giving me more defense, more shield whenever I pop Revenge, and everything like that. So that's what I would use for my feats and my perks for the Warlord. Now, with all that being said, up on the screen right now, you're going to see, since we're going over to the hero-specific moveset for the Warlord, so up on the screen you'll see us going over to the hero tactics, what the game really wants to teach you about the Warlord and everything like that. So as in combos and stuff like that, what he can do, and what he can't do and stuff like that. So, Renown, which is earn more Renown by assisting or saving heroes or defending objectives to unlock your feats in a match. The great thing about a heavy character, even if somebody specifically steals your kill, that's okay. You benefit from that. So let them steal your kills. You'll get more Renown in the long run, and be able to unlock your feats. So Revenge mode, again, as we all know, boosts damage and health. All attacks are uninterruptible. Parries and throws knock enemies down. Attacks are auto-parried upon activation. Now, Crashing Charge. Upon initiating Crashing Charge into the target, the Warlord will push back the target for as long as, since we're on PS4, the square button is held. While performing Crashing Charge and before colliding with the target, the Warlord's movement speed is increased by 15%. Guard Break into Crashing Charge. Warlord's Guard Breaks throws have similar properties to Crashing Charge, pushing the opponent to the desired direction with the shield. You see a lot of Warlords do that, specifically for the Guard Break, and if there's a ledge nearby, he will specifically like to pretty much Guard Break you and run you to the ledge to get the environmental kill on you. Superior Block Light Openers. Light Openers have the Superior Block property during the startup, causing an attack to become a crushing counter, which is unblockable and increased damage. If successful at blocking an attack, you use it as a counter attack. So that's pretty much saying, if it becomes crushing counter, think of it the same way as the Warden, but treat it more as the Highlander, if you will. That he can get this the superior block from any direction, from either right, left, or top. It doesn't matter. And he will do a little bit more damage with that if you're able to do it. Enhanced lights. Light attacks are all enhanced, not being uninterrupted if blocked. Uninterruptible heavy attacks. Heavy attacks are uninterruptible during the startup. This prevents enemies from interrupting the Warlord as he attempts to attack. And in other terms and other verbiage, if you will, hyper armor. That's basically what that is. Full block stance. Block attacks from all directions require stamina to activate and drain stamina while maintaining the stance. Undodgeable board and blade. Board and blade is undodgeable. It always initiates from the left. So normal attacks from full block. Warlord is not restricted from performing a normal light opener or zone attack from full block stance. And then finally zone attack, which is Elder's Tantrum. Zone attack is undodgeable. Now that's pretty much the Warlord in itself. He's a pretty much straightforward character, as I was saying. But one of the things is that you also can take from that is that he's a very, very, very versatile character. As I said, I have 2 classes set up for him, and I'm sure I've seen many other Warlords run everything else. I've seen a lot of Warlords run auto revive, which, by the way, if you use auto revive, I didn't say this earlier, you will respawn back with 50% of your health. Back when the game was first released, you actually respawn with your full health. They nerfed it once. They nerfed it once, which brought you down to 75. Then they nerfed it again to bring you back up to half. So, and it's been that way for quite a while now. So we that's something, if you do use auto revive, keep that in mind. That you will respawn with half of your health. But as I said, I've seen Warlords run many different types of combos whenever it comes to his feats. Also, there's a lot. If you get the damage buff on top of deadly, on top of everything else, he can hurt. He can hurt very badly. He can take out. If you have a good run with him, whenever you all break through the gate to go fight the commander, he can, if he's not stopped, he can almost kill the commander in one fell swoop of using Juggernaut, Fury, and everything else on top of that, if he's not stopped. 9 out of 10 times, of course, you will be, because that's a lot of damage that you're pumping out there. So, kind of keep that in mind whenever you're doing everything like that. Make sure you land your parries. If you are a decent Warlord, you can go ahead and get your superior lights out there, and pretty much you'll be an unstoppable force. The Warlord is a very good character, and I enjoy playing as him. So, if there is something that I missed, or if there's something that you need a little bit more clarification on, definitely leave a comment down below. And as always, guys, I will see you in the next video.